like at least this officer on the bottom of your screen has that concrete barrier to protect himself, because he can be on this side of it all and try to protect his fellow officers if there were to be some type of shootout.
These are some very brave men and women you're looking at right now. That officer who got in front of that vehicle did so quickly. You saw him run back to his own car for cover. They typically take cover behind the doors of their vehicles, and you can see the SWAT officers wearing the shorts down there in the dirt, taking cover behind that concrete pillar there. They are no doubt barking orders right now as you see another officer running for backup there, trying to get this guy to come out of his car. And what he might be thinking, what he's doing, you can see movement once again in the driver's seat. We just don't know.
And you saw the canine officer in the back there behind the black vehicle, just one behind him. It's just so anxious to go to work. I mean, it almost seemed like for a moment they were having to hold him back. Everyone and everything is ready for this situation. The driver at this point does not seem to be moving at all. I've not seen that door even crack open like we saw him doing so many times before, and obviously not following any orders that he might be getting at this point. And I'm sure he is getting plenty to step out and to get on, put feet and then body on the ground.
Right. He needs to step out, hands up, do exactly what officers are telling him to do. Again, if you're just joining us, these are the northbound lanes of 288 near Holcomb, where for the first time in more than an hour, we believe that this chase has finally come to an end, but we are waiting for the driver to surrender. He has stopped on and off throughout this hour-long chase, but he has not come out of his vehicle yet. He is given every indication that he is not willing to give up easily, and so now it is again a waiting game, but this time for officers, they're outside their vehicles waiting for him to come out.
And they were ready. If you take a look at the left side of your screen, you see the SWAT vehicle pulling up, and we saw the officers jump out of that a moment ago. That's the first time we've seen that. You know, it's been ready and waiting for this moment, and they were there, and they have finally got this situation at a standstill.
I still don't see.
Anybody's guess what is going to happen at this point. An officer we saw risk his life by pulling up in front of that vehicle, not knowing what was going to happen. But that particular officer in front of this driver's car was the one who was able to say, "This car is not going anywhere else. You are at a standstill, and we are going to try to finally take full control of the situation."
Yeah, because this has gone on for so long, you've been able to get a lot of resources in place. So you see the Houston Police big SWAT vehicle there. That's something that we don't typically see on chase scenes, but because this has gone on for so long, you've been able to get a number of different resources in place, and hoping that they can get this guy in custody very, very soon. Again, if you're just joining us at 9:18 this morning,
authorized it. You know, when that come out, that shit cost money.
Police were chasing this
So,
person if there
guess
was some
taxes
sort of
go
a
up 1%.
911 call involving a crime that he had committed, or whether this was a traffic stop that was initiated by police and he did not stop. We're not sure yet, but for whatever reason, it was a felony stop, and they were trying to take him into custody for something serious when he decided that he was not going to stop and obey the law, and that is what's led to this police chase all through Baytown and then to Houston, where he went past NRG Stadium. He took the 288 flyover, and now he has come to a stop here at 288, the northbound lanes at Holcomb.
You have SWAT team members on the other side of the concrete pillar waiting to see what's going to happen, ready to pounce if in action we see other officers running from that SWAT vehicle over to the vehicle in front. And I'm not seeing much movement inside of the vehicle where the suspect is. It looks like the driver's just sitting there, not making any looks like moves to roll down the window. It doesn't look like he's having any conversation with them. Now, when we first started watching this, when it all started unfolding, it seemed like all the officers had guns drawn, and at this point they don't. So hard to understand what's going on there. But I'm seeing them stand down almost at this point.
And you've seen them too take different positions. There was just a kind of a frantic rush of officers
moving.
Okay, look,
he's moving. What is going on? No, this cannot be.
No,
this cannot be.
Come on! And now he's taking off at a very high speed.
What happened?
They had him pinned in there right against the wall on 288.
And there was no way to...
Man, did y'all see this,
There's no
man?
way we could even...
Are you serious?
He just went right past another SWAT vehicle there.
There is no way to even understand why
Man,
that
what
officer
kind of-
would have wanted to move that vehicle unless he was trying to get the SWAT vehicle closer
Why
to
y'all
it.
move the
But
vehicle, brother?
This guy was just waiting to make his move.
Man, are y'all looking at this?
He pounced quickly on that, and
This damn
officers just
fuckery.
weren't able to respond quick enough to trap him again. All right, now he's getting over into the left-hand lanes again. This is the fastest we've seen him travel now since that rear tire was blown out. He's just about on his rims.
It looks like officers are being a little more aggressive this
They're
time.
definitely being more aggressive. It looks like it's trying to attempt another pit maneuver here to get him to stop.
And now again, we are getting closer to downtown and closer to what is going to be more of a traffic nightmare. So officers are really having to probably move ahead, get in advance, and try to get that traffic at a standstill.
Man, what
This is
these
right
people
between
doing, man?
McGregor now, so you're right near the zoo, near the museums. All right, he's taking an
exiting.
exit,
Okay,
and
we
Houston
took a
police just rammed him again. All right, now he's still trying to go. That was another one of those pit maneuvers, the second one at least that officers have used in this chase. That's the bomb squad getting out of that white truck right now. You can see officers once again, this is at least the fifth or sixth time they've gotten out of their vehicle and have taken cover, weapons drawn, trying to get this driver out.
He's getting out. The door is opening now for the first time since
And it closed again. It closed again. It looks like he might... Oh, I thought that was his head out the window, but I don't believe so.
If you take a look at this situation now with officers in front of him and the way that he's penned, and
This is Houston, Texas.
will hopefully be the last time
9:22 a.m.
that vehicle out because
March the
this
22nd.
time guns are drawn and they are not standing down this time.
Right.
They are ready for him to get out and for this to be
Yeah, but he
over.
wasn't, man. He
We
wasn't
do
supposed to
not
be
know what
elusive
started this in the first
prior
place.
to
All
this.
we're told is that it was considered to be a felony.
Well, I'm gonna say
stop.
something, man.
I assume that would be
If I'm wrong about the race,
crime, perhaps that
man,
was,
it would be
performed
my
before
honor
all of this
to
started about an hour and a
you know,
half
just
ago.
advocate with me though.
Officers have
If
done
I'm wrong
everything
about
they
he's
can to put this to an
by
end.
he's
He's
white,
eluded them over
man,
and over
I
again with
would
trick moves
robustly
and has
apologize.
one surprise after another with this guy.
I'm a man, I will apologize to any comment.
The northbound lanes of 288.
So don't defame me, don't try to vilify me.
We saw this
But for this to
end
take this
for
long,
what
he
we
gotta
see
be
now
white.
for the 10th time with another pit maneuver by Houston police, and it looks like now he's pinned right between a police car and a bomb squad unit. It doesn't appear that he can go anywhere now, but again, we said that the last time, and he proved us wrong. He's continued to outsmart in terms of trying to get away. Okay, now the driver's side, and it closed again. And we've seen that over and over throughout this chase. They're getting closer to him right now.
And the dog is.
And it looks like they're approaching the
all
vehicle.
going after-
They're
gonna
opening
get
the
him
door,
out.
and they're
It's
taking
not
him
enough.
out.
He is on the ground. This is.
And it looks like they're handcuffing him right now. There's a number of SWAT officers and the bomb squad right there to take him down.
And it looks like they're pulling the canine officer away because he is barking and he is just ready to help them out and just ready to take his job very seriously and is taking his job seriously. And now it looks like they have him in handcuffs. And they're pulling him away, and they have to be asking so many questions now. We have so many questions to ask about what happened and who this guy is and what he was doing. We saw him earlier. It looked like trying to get something out from under his seat, and we don't know if he was dancing or moving around.
Is he
oddly
black
in
or
his
white?
car. I mean, there was just been some weird stuff happening.
There is such a sense of relief on this scene right now. These brave men and women here in law enforcement from a number of different agencies have spent the past hour and a half just carefully trying to get this to come to a peaceful end. And this is the exact type of resolution that they want to see in these cases, when no one from the public gets hurt, when they've got this guy in custody so they can bring the charges against him. And they've just got to be feeling so thankful right now that this is finally over.
And you take a look at all the officers walking up and seeing how many people it took to make this happen. And law enforcement officers working so hard. And like you said, I'm sure breathing a sigh of relief. It looks like they've got a stretcher. That's interesting. So maybe he suffered an injury in all of this, but it looks like there's a possibility that he could be injured. It doesn't look like he's going to be getting into the back of an officer's car, and we certainly hope that that's not an officer hurt. It's hard to tell, but we should be able to tell in just a moment what's happening with that.
They're searching his gray Ford SUV right now as well, trying to see if there are any weapons inside that vehicle, if there are any weapons on him. What may be in that vehicle is what they're doing right now as they try here to get this scene picked up as quickly as possible so that traffic can reopen. This has affected so many people today who were trying to get to work or to school or wherever they needed to be. Again, this is the northbound lanes of 288 at McGregor. You'll still want to avoid this area for at least the next 30 minutes or an hour, I would say, because there's such a heavy police presence there.
And it looks like there is some type of medical situation going on, because at this point we would see the suspect, we would see him being put in a car, and all we've seen is a stretcher come out, and they're bending over him. Now, we were told that officers believed this person was armed and dangerous. It looks like now they are lifting him up onto a stretcher. So at this point, you don't know if it could be some type of self-inflicted wound. You don't know if officers had to use some type of gunfire to get him to